Oh, we are already live. My apologies. So I want to be speaking to you briefly about what Gaia says that we can expect with this Ascension movement. So we have been on countdown to this Ascension movement, having been through a number of Ascension moments over the past number of years, really, but more of those over the last couple of months. And now we are on countdown to this movement, this shunt, this punt through the galaxy, further into the photonic belt, and we are getting ready to receive this plasmic light bubble that will transcend us. So since the 1st of April, we've been on countdown to this. Gaia speaks of this that it will have occurred by the time we head into the 16th of April. So we are in the last 10 days of that. And I want to tell you some of the things that she has told me in answer to my questions. So this fifth dimensional we're moving into this fifth dimension. It's a physical ascension. It's never been done in the history of the multiverse. So this is why we have been taken through a series of processes and preparation so that our bodies have been purging and purifying, coming into this receipt for this solar flash, this movement through the galaxy that will show up likely as something we will hear. That's what she has said. She has described this as something akin to a chiropractic crack of the spine, that this is what's going to be happening in our physical world. And so it's getting really exciting. So our bodies have been tempered and prepared for this. And there's a lot of interest from around the universe, around the multiverse, because this has never been done ever, ever, ever. So this is us in our being pre-prepared and organized. Our soul knows that we are moving into this ascension event, into the fifth dimensional paradigm, into this fifth dimensional bandwidth. Hi, Bex. So I've got some notes and I'll find my way through them. So Gaia's showing this as this kind of portal in the sky, this skylight showing and opening up, this oval kind of portal that shows up. And that when I was in the inner earth, so this was yesterday, we could begin to feel the shudders in there, these little tiny sort of earthquake movements. So this is this experience that we've been having all along, really, but we're just becoming perhaps more poised about it, more aware of it, this macro and micro, that we are having the same experience as the earth itself, as the planet itself. And so our internal systems are being warmed up, heated up. They've been being transfigured, transformed, transmuted, alchemized from carbon into crystalline, as this enables us to hold this higher frequency, which comes with a whole lot of information. So we've been in receipt of ourselves. So we've been opening up to receive these higher dimensional aspects of self, these past life experiences, our own internal wisdom and knowledge, as our body is able to house it. You know, these higher frequencies, our body has been in preparation for this, and we're getting more and more and more. So if things are coming up for you, then just observe them. Don't bury them away, but observe them in rather a detached way. So what is this? What does this bring me in my body? Not the story, the sensory, physical response in the body. And what is that about? And then breathe through it. Allow yourself to look at it, to feel it in that very physical, sensory way and allow it to move out, because that's why it's showing up. Right, so the magna core is heating up and expanding, and this is a part of our ascension process. And so this is occurring in our own inner being as well, as we are heating up, increasing in our internal temperature as we are going through this combustion and this alchemizing. And we are each expanding. So this is showing up as well, this idea that there's more space now between the particles, between the molecules. This is our experience of expansion, and that's what's happening to the planet as well. And in a way, it kind of shows up in a more energetic format rather than a physical format, but you could see it as a whole lot of particles suspended in something, in the space between is greater. And this is kind of giving us this sense of feeling lighter in the mind and lighter in the body. And yeah, personally, I've been really feeling this total disorientation of time, and quite disconnected from it. So, for example, last night I attended to this note that I'd written to ring somebody, but I hadn't written when it was that I'd spoken to them. And when I rang them, I said, I'm aware that I was to ring you, after 3:30 today, or after 3:30, but I'm unsure as to whether I spoke to you today or yesterday. And she said, no, you spoke to me this morning. And honestly, I had no concept of that. I had no idea whether I'd spoken to her that morning or the morning before. And this was, someone who was ringing, having an inquiry about something, not a friend who I would have spoken to before. So we are still building for this movement. So there's going to be this tipping point between now and the end of the 15th. But right now, when I tuned in today, we're still building for this movement, because there's this kind of astrological alignment. There's the energies coming in, the codes coming in, but the tipping point is us. So when does humanity reach this point where there is the greatest outcome for the majority of people to move through this ascension space into our fifth dimensional bandwidth? She says these things. In answer to my queries, yes to many sicknesses and diseases disappearing. An increase in frequency will disable the strandings and connections of sequence. Let all this go. So you could hold it through your mental mind. You could retain it in your energetic field. So if you've got any kind of illness at all, just, thank it and allow it to go, because this movement through this frequency is going to have this kind of incineration effect. So when we move through this boom, this flash, this event, this moment, Gaia says, that we will come into incredible clarity. So I've been showing it as though each of us was the silhouette. So I'm here and I've got this sheet over me, and when we move through this, when we have this experience, it's like the sheet's pulled off. So my vision is greater, deeper, more perspective. I can see up, down and around, and that's going to be the effect. So masks and veils will be taken away, things that are not true, things that don't align with your highest being, they're going to disappear. So there'll be lots of people who go, and they will feel quite different after it. And I'll tell you a little bit about what might happen during it. But we're going to be brought into our most kind of divine alignment, this total clarity of truth of who we are and where we're from and why we are here and what it is that we are here to do. All of that purpose and mission and alignment of self within self occurring, as well as pulling down in a more extreme way, or having access to greater components of self, our higher dimensional aspects that have been coming in It's like opening the pipe wider for it to pour in as we integrate who we are on many levels and many dimensions, and up to 12th dimension or 12th dimensional experience, memories, knowings. That's what we will be having access to. Yep, the final veils will be released. People will begin to connect with who they are. All masks, falsehoods will dissolve. And many will come into the realization, hallelujah, of who is their divine partner. Right. So you will begin to remember everything, like everything, as you come into this higher alignment with your 12th dimensional self, your 12th dimensional experiences, your soul knowledge, your information. So that's kind of the big picture of that. In the smaller immediate moment, let me find what I wrote about that. Oh, the other thing is that there's new codes, new keys, this illumination will bring in that. A lot of people have been receiving those in a very deliberate way, but lots of people who've got not a clue will get some of those coming in. Let me find that. Yeah, so we're going to have this, this punt, this shunt further into the photonic belt where we will receive really a saturation. So we've been receiving, like little rainfall, let's call it that. And this is going to be this massive saturation of light that comes through. And some people will feel it as pain. Some people might get headaches and feel to lie down. Some people might feel pain in their joints and feel to lie down. Some people might just feel to lie down. But basically, whatever is occurring for us, this is what we are in preparation for. The more density we can clear, the less resistance we have to receiving these incredible codes, this crystalline light, this bringing us into this higher aspect of self. So between now and whenever this happens in the 10-day countdown, it's to get really hydrated, maintain that as much as possible. That will assist you clear out anything that comes up, any emotional things that come up, clear that out, attend to it, and just know that you are in preparation for this ascension movement further into the photonic belt, receiving this plasmic light that sort of just opens us up to be the more expanded version of self, and that a lot of things will be remembered. So some people will, be in their instant genius mode, knowing lots of things. So all of this preparation, of course, is so we don't get fried and incinerated. I'm moving back and forth all over the place. So we've been in this birthing, this renewal this month. I think the other things are what we might experience. So in the kind of negative aspect of this, there may be some playing around with a nuclear explosion. Not that these are going to happen. The threats of a nuclear explosion, an alien invasion, and something else. I can't think what the other one might be, but just ignore all of those. Those are just all deterrents, detractors. They're designed to bring fear, to reduce your frequency and vibration. So you just put those over there in that little sack over there, let them sit over there. They don't belong in our reality. We're creating this paradigm now where we are preparing ourselves to be in the best possible position to receive all of these codes in a way that's beautiful and gentle and under ease and grace. So your soul knows this. Your soul has this information in it, even if you don't know it in your mental mind. And it is assisting you in the best way that it possibly can. Let me see what else there is here. So some will leave the planet between now and then, and have already. And so So you can see this in a very physical way as death, but it isn't all that. So some are leaving, many are leaving actually because they're in completion. We are done and dusted here with this kind of aspect, this portion, this component of our mission. So many people who have been here to help steward the earth to this point, or who've come to hold density to then leave so it becomes a release for the earth, or they've come to hold space for others, or they've come to bring in information codes or other elements to the journey, if you like, of our personal journey and our world's journey, humanity's journey. So there are a whole lot of beings from all over the place who have come here to be present up until this point, and so now we know we're doing it. This is not an option anymore. This is in place, and we are doing it. We are getting there. We are ascending. We are poised on the brink of this right now. So this gives permission to a whole lot of souls and beings to leave, and they can observe and witness this from a higher dimension. That's why a lot of beings from around the universe, around the multiverse, are here to witness and observe this incredible event, one that many didn't believe would ever occur. So lots are leaving for that. Some are leaving because their physical bodies in this human experience are not capable of moving through this this light, this code, this frequency. And so they may leave and be held somewhere else and then return, or they may leave and be rehoused in a new body and return. The soul is eternal, of course. The soul is infinite, and this physical body is just this, temporary kind of cladding or suit that we hold here. We're a spiritual being having a physical experience, and now we are a spiritual being having an ascension experience. And so that is really exciting, and we need to get excited about it. So our preparation is just to be in the knowing, to ignore any of the fear-mongering things that are going on, to know that these frequencies are actually going to kind of end some cycles that won't be in our dimensional space as we move into our fifth dimensional bandwidth, and then we will move into our work of co-creating our fifth dimensional world. But in the meantime, we don't have to race to that. We can hold a vision of that, and the vision to hold of that is how will you feel, and the feelings are the things that drive that. So for me, that's, I'm just going to feel in bliss and in love and in joy and in my playful, fun, love-filled self. And so that's how I'm going to feel. So those are the experiences that I'll be calling into my space, and I invite you to figure out what are these things that you want to be experiencing, what are the feelings that you want to be having in your body, in your existence, and let's place that out there in a bubble of creation for it to come into our new physical existence. Let me see what else is here. We will see, when we move through, a lot of walk-ins. So walk-ins are souls that come in that have had a contract or have a contract with another soul who is going to be exiting. So that's been happening, and I am unsure about the sort of beginning and ending time frame of that, but I'm just aware that we're going to have a lot of walk-ins. So souls that come into an existing physical body or housing, and the other soul leaves, and it's not a takeover, it's a contractual arrangement that has been had by both souls. That's going to happen. They will come with new higher codes and new higher information to help us facilitate in the creation of our new way of being and building our new world. New keys, new codes, new illumination. If you saw how much writing I've done since April, it's crazy, and it's a little bit all over the place. Let me see if there's anything else I want to tell you. maybe you will feel to share this or not. And I don't mean my video, I mean this information that we're going to have, this Ascension thing. So what might happen that is perhaps worth sharing, I guess, is the darkness. So we, and Gaia still can't tell me which, but she's saying that it's still likely that this will create days of darkness. And if you wanted to go and read my blog on my website about that, there's a little blog about it. But she has always said that we will have 3 or 10 or 14 days of darkness, and that there are 3 main ways that that could come. So this frequency is going to be quite high, quite a lot higher. And so it could take out some of our systems. So she has said that we may lose power, we may lose internet, and that the third thing that, we may lose phone connections, and that we may lose sun. So not for forever, but in a temporary way. She talked about the effect being that a whole lot of particles get magnetized, and that magnetic effect kind of pulls them together, and they block out the sun while this movement or motion is happening. And so we may have darkness, and so just be aware that when that happens, it's not anything to panic about. It's a short-term thing. Oh yeah, sorry, I am really all over the place, but I will get there with you. Most of us will go to sleep. It'll just be the length of time. So we just might have this sort of precognition, or this awareness, or this feeling in our body that makes us want to lie down. I don't see people crashing their cars all over the motorway or anything like that, but there'll be this need to, this feeling to sleep. So we will sleep really anywhere. My understanding is anywhere from an hour to maybe even 10 days. That's our children as well. So it won't be this horrible, scary experience. It will just be that we do that as our bodies are going through this final upgrade and assimilation. Yeah, so when that has occurred, some of the people who have taken off will return. So one of the things that I've seen, I haven't asked Gaia about this, but I'll just tell you anyway because it's pretty interesting, is that I've been seeing for a while that when we move there, it's as though people just land, that people come to our world and they don't have to go through the birthing process. It's not that we will stop giving birth. It's that some will arrive in their adult form. And so metaphorically, how this shows up to me is people arriving in by parachute. So just landing into the earth. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work, but I've been showing that for quite some time. Yes. So yes to many sicknesses and diseases disappearing as an increase in frequency will disable the strandings and connections of sequence, if I didn't say that already. And I think that's all really. I mean, there's a whole lot to our spiral of ascension. I've been wanting to speak more about that, and here we are already about to do it. But you know, we're in this process of release and receipt, and it's leveling us up. We're having this massive upgrade, and so you'll become more psychic, you'll develop more gifts, you'll be in bliss. And so this is our in the meantime experience. We'll be going through this expansion while we're asleep, or this calibration, this recalibration. So anyway, I'm just aware of the time, and I have a client in a couple of minutes, so I will leave this here. And thank you, those of you who are on. I'm going to try and do this more often now that I've figured out how to do it. And yeah, see you on the other side if I don't see you beforehand. And be excited, because it really It really is exciting. And the other thing that comes with it, of course, is we move into this fifth dimensional bandwidth, this fifth dimensional frequency. And so there are things that cannot come with us. And this is what Gaia has always said about some of the darker, the more nefarious aspects of our world. It cannot exist in our fifth dimensional frequency. So that will just kind of not come, and there will be lots of movement in our we're having readjustments now in our systems as well. So that could be in our weather, even though we've had lots of interference with that. But in our own personal systems, we're being kind of returned to our original divine plan blueprint. So you might find your sleep is changing and shifting as you're recalibrating. Your eating patterns are doing that. And the earth, Gaia says, the earth's seasons and flows and fluctuations will, have all of that occurring as well. So I will, wish you so much love from my heart and from the heart of Gaia, and you sit in your own divine, incredible hearts, knowing that we are on our way to this new magnificent part in our world. All right, see you next time.